I've been into virtual reality for some time now. It's always fascinated me. You know, at some point I thought, man, this is the future of gaming, and it still could be. I don't think it's there yet, but I had the PSVR1 when it first came out. I remember going to a little event and getting to try it out before it released, and it just blew me away. I was like, this is amazing. This is some awesome stuff. So I enjoyed that for a long while, and then when the Oculus Quest came out, I grabbed the first one, and then when the second one released, grabbed that as well. There's a lot of cool experiences, and I emphasize experiences when it comes to these virtual reality headsets that are out there. And I know there's a lot of different PC, headsets you can get and whatnot, but as far as like console gaming, PlayStation's really the only one that's done anything here. They're, putting out headsets, and it's cool to see that they're continuing on. And I really hope this thing gets supported, but like Nintendo's kind of dabbled in it with the Labo VR, but that was way more of a gimmick than anything, having a Nintendo Switch strapped to your head. But yeah, so I got to give it to PlayStation. Hey, at least they're coming out with a consumer product for console gaming, and I really have some high hopes. I was very hesitant on grabbing one of these, and I wound up saying, you know what, screw it, let me buy it. I purchased it the day after it released through their website, and within 30 hours, it showed up to my door. So I'm assuming they have like this warehouse all across the US, so it gets shipped out to people quick. Glad I didn't pay for the expedited shipping, because I don't think it would have got to me any sooner. They shipped it, and then the next morning I got it. Kind of crazy. So that's cool. But back to what I was saying, experiences. I really think there's a lot of cool experiences for VR, and I'm really hoping this pushes it a little more. Because I haven't really experienced a lot that I think is like a killer application for VR, a killer game, must have, like it sells it type of thing. Let's get this unboxed as we talk. And I'm already downloading games and whatnot. I want to get this thing set up and, share my thoughts with you guys. I'm already throwing everything out here, I guess. But I know some people have been having issues with like the controllers and whatnot. So we'll have to work through that. Hopefully that's not the case here. Now this box is pretty heavy for still already getting everything out. That's just all, the rest is just all packaging. Huh, okay, that's fine. And what's in here? But yeah, I really think, okay, we have our Call of the Mountain download. I did get that bundle. We get some, oh, that's cool. Little earpieces, I guess. Little nice to stay immersed. Then here's the USB-C cable, manual. That's pretty much it. But I think there's got to be like something beyond like Beat Saber and things that are just like cool experiences. Oh, I'm assuming this is to charge the controllers or sync them up or whatever. But I really think for this stuff to become more mainstream, it's not necessarily the price points of things, because I mean, PC VR, you could be in it quite a bit of money, way more than what a PS5 and a VR2 is going to cost. But the price point wise, I mean, you can get an Oculus Quest and you can use it on your PC, and those are relatively cheap. But I've had a ton of fun with all these different devices that I've used, but I just haven't found anything that I'm like, man, this really feels like it was made for VR and it's a full-on experience. I think part of it is like the control, how you move in games and whatnot. But here's the headset. So I don't really have too much of an idea of how everything works. I'm sure we can move the eyepieces. And one of the reasons I bought this right now is because hearing more information. Some of the negatives I get, but I was like, people were saying you could wear glasses in this, because like my Quest, I have like lens covers that are, I can't even pop them out. They've been in there so long, but I have lens covers that have my prescription on them. And from what I was reading, people said, yeah, there's enough space in these to where you don't really need covers like to get anything special. You could just wear glasses in there. So that's kind of cool. But there it is. This thing feels very light. This feels lighter than the Oculus Quest. Obviously, I mean, the processing power, it's going to be through the PlayStation and whatnot. You got those displays in there and whatever else that syncs to the PlayStation. So this is a very light headset. I like that. That seems like it's going to be comfortable. We'll have to find out. But yeah, I'm really hoping, like, I don't know anything about Call of the Mountain. I'm hoping this is a solid game, but I'm excited for the future to see what they got going on and, you know, to play some of these games. So I'm going to get everything set up here. Like I said, I've already got some games downloading, and then we'll play some stuff and, you know, add that to this video. Weird, interesting controller. Am I holding this wrong, or is that how it's supposed to be? Interesting. I like this. I mean, I like the look and feel so far. It's very neat. Very neat. Everything feels nice on this controller. Like, I always like the Oculus controllers. Like, they feel nice too on the hands. But this, yeah, pretty much the same. You know, feeling good anyway. Like, similar idea with the trigger on the side. This more of just like a where this like presses in more. Trigger there, trigger there. They both feel good. This is kind of like you got a floating bracelet on, I guess. That's cool. Okay, let's get this set up, play some games. I'm downloading some stuff right now. We'll be right back. Okay, so it's been a few days since that footage that you just saw of me unboxing the VR2, and I've played the crap out of this thing. And it's been a pretty awesome experience. I haven't had any issues. My controllers work just fine. And I know a lot of people were reporting having issues with the controllers. My only thing was I think they had maybe a 1% charge on delivery. So I couldn't even get through setup without having to wait for them to charge up first, which, okay, that's fine. Big deal. I had to charge the controllers. But while I was waiting, I started messing around with the eye tracking calibration. And that fascinated the heck out of me. Just the technology that's being used to track your pupils and where you're looking. Like, that's nuts, man. How far along this stuff has come is really interesting. But okay, I played quite a few games here, some demos and some full retail releases, and a lot of stuff, yes, it's like your basic VR gimmick game that's been around for a while. You know, playing things like that kayak game, Kayak VR, that was interesting, but more so a little relaxing distraction. If you can say using your hands with the controllers as a paddle is relaxing, but it was kind of, you know, neat. These displays you have in this VR headset, they're 2K per eye, really look great. I had no issues seeing everything clearly. And yes, I did get to wear my glasses using these, which was great. Like, putting the headset on, like at first it was like, okay, how do I do this right? And they kind of guide you through all of it. But to get it on without messing up my glasses or, you know, getting fingerprints on my glasses or smushing them around or whatever. You know, it took a couple tries. Now it's just natural. I get this thing on my head and off my head with ease. And it was great. Just, you know, everything was crystal clear to me. I didn't have any fuzziness or blurriness. And these are my experiences. Other people may have different ones. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I experienced. But, you know, moving on a bit, playing some other game. I played that game Rock Drums, which was a demo that I played. That was interesting. It's kind of like playing the drums in Rock Band without the drums. I see some potential with music games here. And then also I played like the Resident Evil Village VR demo, which is a little wonky. You know, the game wasn't necessarily designed from the ground up for VR, and some games aren't, and they just, you know, kind of add these modes on, and they do with it as they can. But it was still an interesting experience that I think they could refine a little more. And then playing the Horizon Call of the Mountain. This one was really interesting. Essentially, it's a showcase of the features of the VR2. And it's a cool game. It looks great. The combat takes a minute to get, you know, to get used to it, but everything's very smooth and fluid. And this is just a random observation. You know, there was like no clipping. Like if you take your hands, obviously you can't take your hands with the two controllers and, you know, clip into them and overlap, you know, within each other. You know, they're physical objects. And in a lot of games, you know, there'd be like weird clipping and whatnot. In Call of the Mountain, like if you try to touch your finger, try to clip through anything, it just kind of touches. I don't know. It was really neat to see that. Just random, but it was something I could appreciate. Now, that game was cool, but essentially it was like you're climbing a mountain. So it was more of a climbing simulator. It's still a lot of fun, though. I give it that. But yeah, a lot of these games that I tried out, they really, you know, it didn't really seem like the full potential quite yet. Maybe they're getting there. But even with the Horizon Call of the Mountain, everything that they did with it, with the adaptive triggers, the rumble that's built into the headset, the audio through those earbuds is freaking great. Like everything just, it feels nice. The controllers feel good. Movement, you know, just kind of get used to that using the analog sticks and whatnot. But the one game that really blew me away is a 7-year-old game, nearly 7 years old, and that's No Man's Sky. Holy crap. They did a new update, the Fractal update, and they added PSVR2 compatibility and some PS5 enhancements. And I've played No Man's Sky on PC, and I really enjoy that game. But on PS5 with the VR2, and this isn't the first time you could play this game in VR, obviously, but just with these improvements, the way the UI works, the controls, shooting, you know, mining for stuff, getting in your ship and using the actual controllers, you know, grabbing onto the stick, the throttle, and the controls and flying around was awesome. That game is so immersive, and I think with this update they did, it almost feels like the game was built from the ground up for it. I know it wasn't, and I'm sure there could still be some refinements here, but it was just like I could live in that game. Is that ridiculous? It's such a beautiful game to play in VR, and with the PS5 version with this update, just man, I really enjoyed what they did, and it was extremely immersive, and I would love to see more games that are this huge be able to be fully played in VR. With, you know, these improvements to them with the way the UIs work and whatnot. 'Cause some games is just like, yeah, you just access, you know, menus and whatnot like you would in a normal game and stuff like that. Like you don't really incorporate, you know, VR. And in No Man's Sky, they kind of did. I'm sure, you know, it could be better, but you know what? That experience was awesome. And it's like I really look forward to playing it more. But then, you know, down to realization here, it's like I know this isn't going to be for everyone. I still don't think VR has hit a point where it's like it's going to be in everybody's home and where it's something that's worth buying for everyone, because there's just not enough. And PSVR2, yeah, there's a handful of games at this time, and there's a ton that they've announced that are being worked on and are coming out. And I really hope like this thing can be successful and they keep developing awesome experiences for it, because right now it's like VR to me feels like a season pass to a theme park. Like it's exciting, but then things just kind of get old. Like you start going, every weekend we're going to go. And then, you know, you've seen everything there is to see, experienced everything, but it's still fun every time you go. But it's just like, oh man, to go through the motions of going and, you know, until something new comes out, maybe it'll be cool to start going frequently again. And, you know, a lot of times with VR games, a lot of them feel like theme park attractions. Like they're just short little bursts of enjoyment. And I really want to see more that's like these huge experiences. There's a lot that can be done. I'm really looking forward to the, you know, future here. And I'm glad I got the PSVR 2. It's been a blast. I love the improvements that they've made over the first one. And like I said, I know it's not for everybody, and it's just not ready to be for everyone. But let me know what you guys think. This is going to be an ongoing thing. These were kind of like my first impressions here. There's a lot more to get into, a lot more games to come out and experiences to have. So, hey, if you guys want to keep seeing this stuff, let me know. I'll review some PSVR2 games. Why the hell not? Thanks for watching. Bye.